Hi and a very warm welcome to the channel. It is great to be back with you on this beautiful sunny day. It's been raining, but the clouds have cleared this morning and we've got brilliant sunshine. I'm going to be giving you a tour of our garden in the month of March. It is absolutely fantastic to be back with you. I'm going to start this garden tour with this beauty. Now this is a memorial tree for Ben and it is absolutely a gorgeous variety. This one is Prunus Nigra and it has the most beautiful blossom, the most gorgeous dark foliage, and it's one of those trees. It's perfect for the smaller garden. Yes, it can grow, to a reasonable size, but it's one that if you keep it in check, it can look really great all year round without blocking light and causing too many issues. But it's a really nice one. The variety it really had nothing to do with it. We chose this based on the dark foliage. It just adds a contrast because in a garden you have all this green and then you've got very little else, and I thought what would be fantastic, and we both agreed on this, is to have something that was a real contrast, and this foliage really does work well in the garden, especially against the greens everywhere else. It's got quite big over the last few years. It's been in a few years now. It's been in, I think it's about 3 years, 2.5 years, something like that. So it has grown. You'll see on the older videos, if you go back to some of the videos, how it looked first of all when it was put in, and it certainly has grown. But it's well worth getting, honestly. It's a really nice variety, and I just love the delicate blossom. To be honest with you, it's usually much shorter lived than it has been this year. For this year, it's held its blossom for longer. I don't know whether that was to do with weather conditions. I think it might have been. I think we've had some bad weather at times and obviously the blossom's blown away. But this year, it seems to have held its blossom for longer. Now we're in March, it's still got the blossom on it. It was the blossoms were out in February. And they're perfect for the early pollinators, the bees that are getting out and about. They're really absolutely amazing because in February they need that pollen, so on nice days when you get bees coming out and about, and it's just great to have something like this. But I just love it now. It's becoming more established, I really do. And its stake was taken off. I think we took that off last year because we had a stake in, and it just really is fending for itself now and looks absolutely amazing. Another tree I want to look at is Magnolia stellata. Now this was in the garden when we came here. It's been in the garden for a long time, and as you can see, we've got lots of blooms coming out. Now Magnolia stellata, certainly magnolia trees were around a long time before the bees were on our planet, hence the reason they're not pollinated by bees. So the bees, you get bees on them, but obviously not pollinated by them. They're pollinated by insects, and that's because they've been around for such a long time. Really graceful tree, lovely to have in the garden. Again, the flowers are absolutely stunning when they come out. They're just starting to come out. Can't wait to show you again when they're all out in bloom. Really, really nice tree. And this one stays at a really good size as well. It's so nice to have this one because it does the job, and it's perfect in a smaller space like this and for us, and we do keep it in check as well. So that's the thing, when you've got trees, there's no need to worry and panic about them getting out of hand. They're only going to get out of hand if you allow them to. Obviously you're not going to come into your garden and plant a sycamore tree. That's going to be a big tree. It's going to be the height of your house or beyond, twice the height of your house eventually. So that's not a really good idea. But when you have smaller trees, you can keep them in shape as well if you've got a small space, so a smaller garden than ours, or you're stuck for space, you can keep them in check. And that's the trick. That's the trick, not the tree. Regular pruning is the key. It's the same with our plants. Regular pruning, and you can keep them looking how you want them to. Now, behind, I don't know whether you can see this. This one is Ribes sanguineum behind, and we have two varieties. We have the pink variety, which is here, and this is Pulborough Scarlet, and really nice variety. But we have two varieties of ribes. I'll show you the other one later, but this one's a really nice variety, quite tall, great shrub. It does let light through, very, very nice, and it just gives you that interest. Interestingly enough, with ribes, you have the scent coming from the foliage. If you rub against the foliage, you notice it's a very unique scent, and also when it rains as well, you can smell it quite strongly, or I can anyway. But it's a really, really nice one. Our other tree here, this is an apple tree that was placed in when the garden makeover occurred. Paul did the makeover. This was ready to go in the ground, and eventually when this island bed was ready to be planted, it went in. I'm hoping for some fruit on this year. I'm hoping for some apples. It's a low growing variety. It's not a tally, because it's in the centre of the garden, and we wouldn't want something too big in the centre because it's going to cast shade all over the outside of the garden. That's the trick. And the thing is, with garden design as well, the last thing you want is to have all your trees on one side of the garden and nothing on the other. It becomes top heavy, if that makes sense. So what you need is a variety of heights around the garden. So if you have, say we've got the Magnolia stellata over there, you would want something on this side of the garden that mirrors that height really. And we do have that. We've got conifer there. We've got other things going on, something special I'm going to show you in a minute. But I want to get the trees done first. And this, I'm hoping we get lots of apples from this year, or at least a few, and I'm sure we will. I think it's settled now, and I think it will start producing fruit this year. Now, Sorbus, really great tree, has the most gorgeous berries on. You can still probably see the remnants of the berries. There's just a few left on. The birds have devoured the rest. It's a really great tree for birds. Quite often you'll see the red varieties, but this one is a really, really nice one. It's Autumn Spire, and it looks better as soon as the buds, it's budded, got lots of buds on, and as soon as our buds burst open, it will look fantastic. And when those fruits develop from the blossom into fruits, truly an amazing tree, really nice. And as I say, great for the birds as well, because we want to provide for the birds in winter, and this tree certainly does it. Now, I want to show you something. If you follow me right over here into the corner of the garden, we've got a star to show you. This one behind me, as you can see, this is a shrub known as Forsythia. Now, Forsythia is perfect at this time of year. You'll see in everyone's gardens, there's a few around in the gardens, the neighbouring gardens, and you will see that it just provides that mass of yellow at this time of year. Really cheery, sunshine yellow flowers, looks amazing. You can get low growing varieties now as well, not just the traditional ones that you see behind me there. This one has been in the garden for absolutely decades and decades, so it's very old. It's probably much older than me. I don't know, but I think it is. And it just looks amazing. Really nice at this time of year. You need that colour now. You don't want to be waiting to late spring, early summer for colour. You need it now in the garden, and these shrubs provide that. I'll also say something. When planting, if you're looking for two shrubs that flower at the same time, that look perfect together, Ribes sanguineum, so Ribes sanguineum and Forsythia. You place those together, the deciduous shrubs, so in winter they lose the foliage, but you place those together, and I'm telling you now, you will be shocked at how great it looks, especially the pink and the yellow together. They look truly stunning, they really do. And it's something that I first tried at home. So when I was about 9 years old, I had these two shrubs in my mum and dad's garden. I planted them and they look really great. I was really, really impressed with them. So yeah, that's a good award-winning combination. Euphorbia, looking great there in a pot. Now euphorbias look fantastic. The beauty about euphorbias, I think they look fantastic at all times of the year. Or certainly some varieties do. And this one we've had in for a while now in a pot. And this is one called Euphorbia Galaxy Glow. And as I say, they just look great and they're a welcome addition to the garden. When you are trimming these back, be careful, because the stems are filled with sap. This clear, well, it's not clear, it's white sap. And if you get it on your hands, or anywhere on your body, it can be irritant. So be really careful with these. It's something to watch for. But they are nice. They are nice plants. My favourite one is Euphorbia palustris, and palustris likes damp conditions, and we've not got it in the garden, but I really do like it. Really do like that one. Now, daffodils, perfect time of year now. This is the time. We're in March. We've got daffodils. Some, if you go around to, you're driving around, you'll see some of the traffic islands have had them on for quite a while now. They've been flowering for quite a while, but you can get different types of different varieties flowering at different times. These ones are really, really beautiful, and they've been in the containers, two very different varieties. This is Tête-à-tête, a really nice variety, and we've been growing this for many, many years. We used to grow this in Sheffield in the cottage garden. Absolutely stunning. Reliable, really, really beautiful to look at, and I'm always impressed with these. Over the other side of the garden, we've got some called Jetfire, and this is exactly what I've been talking about. They're starting to go over in the centre, but Jetfire provides you with the yellow petals on the outside and that beautiful orange centre. To me, that really, really does it. I just think it's such a beautiful variety, and I just love these orange centres. They're so nice, they really are. I like colour, as you probably know from the other videos. I like colour, I like vibrant colour, and that's why I need this. Interestingly enough, another little tip for you. So, you planted your tulips. Every year they keep getting dug up, your bulbs. What do? You could cry, you could be really angry, or you could do this. If you've got holly in the garden, or you know someone with holly in their garden, you can cut some pieces, just like this, place them into the ground, and that will stop the squirrels from coming along and wanting to dig up all your bulbs. Perfectly natural way of doing things. Those spikes, they'll come near them, they'll get spiked, and they'll think, I'm not going to do that. And that's why we've got these wonderful tulips coming up now. Simply through a little trick like that, and that is quite thorny. And we've got some holly in the garden. We've got two lots of holly in the garden. We've got a big holly bush in the garden in the back here. We've also got holly in the front as well, and it's such a useful plant to have. Can't wait for this Aster Winston Churchill to come up. That's one of my favourites. One of my favourite asters. Now, it spreads like wildfire. Honestly, it really does, but that's going to be great when it comes up. I'm loving this time of year now because there's emergence of all the perennials. March is the time when everything starts to come from the ground and starts to come up. My favourite grass here, it's called Stipa tenuissima, and as you can see, it's been cut back. Paul's cut everything back literally in the garden, all the perennials, and including the grasses, and this one has started to come back. This will look lovely in summer. Really, truly amazing grass. Low growing, but in the wind, it just looks amazing. When the breeze is blowing and you've got the grasses just wafting along in the breeze, absolutely nothing like it, honestly. Truly amazing plant. And now moving on to this Penstemon. This is Penstemon Garnet. I'm trying to keep out of the light because the sun's behind me, to the side of me. And Penstemon Garnet, the reason why it's not been cut back, it's probably the only thing in the garden that hasn't, is because the temperatures are we're still vulnerable at night time. I'm noticing that temperatures are getting really, really low. So we've got a nice day today, it's warm. It's been raining it's been raining in the night, but now the sky's cleared, there's only a few clouds, it's warmer. But let me tell you now, in the night it's getting really, really cold sometimes. So we're going to leave this on because they are very delicate, these Penstemons. We don't want to lose them. They will go right back to fresh growth where you see coming from the ground there. So if you look inside the bush there, you'll see lots of fresh growth. I'll open it up a bit for you. And that's where it'll go back to. But at the minute, now's not the time to do that. So if you have Penstemons in the garden, now is not the time to go hacking them back. If you live in a milder area, best of luck. I hope it works out. But if you live up north like we do, I'm telling you now, that's not going to end very well if we start hacking that back. So there you go. If you want to take your chances, fine, but I wouldn't do it if I was you. Now, everything else has been cut back. Geranium, Roseanne. When you think about these plants in the summer, and also my favourite, Rudbeckia fulgida deamii. I love saying that. Rudbeckia fulgida deamii. And when you look at how that is during the summer and autumn with those gorgeous starry yellow flowers, to now being cut back to the ground, just a few leaves on the ground, you think, how can this be anything special? But that's the beauty of perennial planting. You know that it's just going to turn into something magical. What you see now is a lot of little plants in the ground. And for someone that's not familiar with gardening, and I can imagine, I can put myself, because I can act, I can put myself in that situation where I've never been into gardening. I pretend I've never been into gardening. I've never had that lifelong love. And I looked at some of this, I think, wow. But when you see what happens and you follow that growth from spring, late spring, early summer, so into late summer, and you see, into autumn, and you see that transition of the perennials, you know that why it's worth waiting for those few months that we have. They look beautiful because we let everything over winter. They look stunning, you know, in the frost, and everything looks great and it's still keeping its shape. Some of the perennials keep the shape and they just look different. They've just died back for the winter, but they're still there, the structure's still there. But when you look at this, you think it's nothing special. When you see what this becomes, and that's the exciting part of gardening, and certainly perennial gardening as well, perennial planting, that you've got a short window, really, because once everything's cut back, it's just emerging from the ground, and it's just anticipation and you're waiting. But look at what it becomes. It becomes something really special, something really magical. And I think you can only get that with plants. I think it's similar to other areas of life, but you can only get that with plants. And there is a certain amount of trust and waiting for that to happen. Anyway, moving on. Great stuff going on. We've got our Rosa Super Dorothy. That's all been trained up now. It's got lots of growth on, lots of fresh stems coming. So literally that's going to be great as the time goes on. Very delicate with Rosa Super Dorothy. Very, very delicate pink flowers, very small pink flowers. It's a rambler. It's doing really, really well. Rosa Sweet Honey's had a chop back. We've got so much going on in here. Notice Geranium Mrs. Kendall Clark is now over this side of the garden. She did used to be over there. So there's been a few changes going on. We have here Persicaria and Plexicornis firetail. I love saying that, Persicaria and Plexicornis, really great plant. Lovely, it's a bit of a thug. I like it, that's why I like it. And I do believe what's going to happen here, we notice there's a space at the front. So this might move, so Persicaria might be moved. I'll be sad to see it move from here, but you know, it does get very big, and I don't know, there's probably better uses of the space. Be moved to somewhere else, and we do have it in other parts of the garden as well. But that's why Mrs. Kendall Clark is now there. Persicaria is there until we can do something with it. The Calamagrostis, Carl Forster, looks really, really great. And this is going to look absolutely amazing when it gets to its full height. It's all the way up here. It's absolutely massive. Grass, absolutely massive grass. But like I say, this is a work in progress, and that's the thing with gardening as well. Nothing ever stays the same. It can be like one of those gardens. I remember around here being a toddler, I remember walking, you know, around here, and the gardens were very the same. It was rows, 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 plants in the middle, sometimes no plants. It was all roses, and you know, a very different style of gardening back then. And I know that whilst things do stay the same like that, sometimes it's good to have change and to say something's working or not working, or something's too big for a space like the Persicaria is here. Maybe it's time for a change. We'll see what happens. It's a work in progress, nothing definite yet, but there is definitely space here, and it would be a shame to plant something more low growing with this thug taking over. It'd be nice to have something maybe taller at the back, but that's not going to spread over, because the thing is, you think, oh well, this is a small clump, but it's basically the foliage from Persicaria now will be out here, so right to the front of the border, which is not good. It's not a good use of space. It's quite a narrow bed really, so yeah, it's not the greatest, but everything's going well. Sedum's coming up, I'm noticing. Really nice sedum. That's Matrona, that's coming up. Got a poppy, that's mine at the back there. Had that for a long time, really like that one. Lichnus coronaria with the most beautiful red flowers on, also known as the Maltese cross. That's here, really nice variety of lichnus, quite an unusual form. Geranium ibericum, really nice blue flowers. Only flowers once, this geranium, during the summer. I think it's more June time, something like that, if I remember correctly. And Geum totally tangerine at the back. Vegetable bed, again, work in progress. Seeing what to do with that this year. Pond's looking great. It's been cleared of some of the debris, some of the winter debris. We still have still some leaves in there, but there's leaves blowing around the garden. We've had a few windy days where there's been lots of wind, but the pond's looking great. It is filled with life. Lots of things going on. I'm hoping our resident frog, Bridgewater, makes an appearance this year, or brings her mates back, hopefully, to the pond, because I saw him last year. He made a big fuss as he was leaving the pond. So as if to say, for the first time, I've never seen him, I've always ever seen him in the pond, and when I say his name, he actually comes to the edge of the pond. Last year, he just, one day, was sat there by the side of the pond watching him. He was watching me, he walked out the pond, went up the side there, went along the back towards the fence. Never been seen or since, so he's obviously left. And hopefully, because they do return, hopefully he'll return with a mate or whatever. But it was nice to have him here, and hopefully he'll come back. Now, ribes. I was telling you about another ribes that were in the garden that we had. Now this one, I'll just get behind the lamp, is a beautiful variety called White Icicle. I was never convinced of these varieties, the white ones. I don't know why. I just always like the pink ones, but you know, to be honest with you, I actually think I prefer the whites now. We have this in this, if I remember correctly, this came from a cutting from Mum and Dad's garden. But interestingly enough, that cutting came from our original shrub that we had in our Sheffield, well, Stannington cottage garden, which was absolutely beautiful. Beautiful variety, beautiful shrub, and it came from us. So it's from a cutting, and there's more cuttings been taken of this. So yeah, so it's been passed on, and it's nice to see it looking so big. Because this space, it's a low growing fence. That fence has been in for, it's not been in all the time, but it's been in for quite a lot of years, as you can see. A lot of the panels, the concrete panels, they're looking a bit worse for wear. So it just wanted something to mask this area, just make it look a little bit nicer, really. Pond looking great though. I'm so impressed with the pond, honestly. You can't beat that, honestly. That's looking great. Over there, next to it, if I can climb over without getting told off. Right, there you go. This is, what should we say, a few sticks in the ground. These are not just sticks, please don't offend me. This is actually a beautiful shrub called Philadelphus Virginal. So Philadelphus, and this can grow really, really big. This can literally take over this space. The problem with it, it gets really leggy. It's very woody shrub, okay? Very, very woody. So you'd need to take out every year a third, once it's finished flowering in June, end of June, going into July, finishes flowering. That's the time. It's called mock orange, by the way. There's a reason why it's called Philadelphus mock orange. Orange blossom scent will fill the whole garden, will fill all the neighbours' gardens, literally. Amazing scent. But I need to say something. You need to cut out a third of this shrub. So once this gets big, cut a third out every single year. As soon as it finishes flowering, straight away. Don't leave it for 6 weeks after. 10 weeks, get it done straight away, because you're not affecting flowering next year, okay? Because it's a very temperamental shrub. How do I know? I know from experience. I know from doing everything from a boy. I bought this from, the original shrub that this came from, I bought from Woolworths. Back in the day, it was about 98 pence, 95 pence or something like that from Woolworths. It was a long time ago. I was a boy. I don't know whether I was 10 or before I was 10, 9, 10, something like that. I can't remember. I did know, I can't remember now. And this is a cutting from it. Mum has it in her garden. It's still there, still growing strong, but it is woody. So you can tell it's been in a long time. And that's the importance of cutting those old stems out, right down as far as you can go, keeping it light, keeping it airy, and allowing it to look rejuvenated rather than all these stems coming out the ground and a big clump. It doesn't look very good, but it's worth it for that orange blossom scent. If you're looking for the rest of the year and you think, oh, is it beautiful for the rest of the year? In a word, no. But can I say something? It's worth it. when you smell that blossom and when you see it. Now, everything's going great along here. We've got asters coming up, a lichness coming up. Everything is starting to emerge. And I want to get back round because I want to show you over that side. Now, we've got Brunnera in flower at the minute. This is Brunnera. So Brunnera, if I can get my words out, macrophylla, and this one is Alexander's Great. Really nice one. Perfect for shady areas, this, really, to be honest with you. If you had a shady area in your garden, it's a really nice little plant for that. And just a nice delicate blue flowers. Remember, I always say this, blue is a rarity in the garden, and when I say that, you know that it's true. You very rarely see true blue in the garden, so it is nice to have as many blue plants as possible in the garden. Looking great though. I like the way the aster's coming up. This is aster, and it's a variety called Calope. Really nice. Spreads, it's doing its job. Lots of foxgloves coming up. I'm looking forward to these this year. All these foxgloves, we're going to have lots of digitalis coming up, and I know the bees will love them. Our Hacamacloa macra is coming up as well. That's had a really good haircut. I'm struggling with my words today for some reason, I don't know why. Looking great. Alchemilla mollis starting to appear from the soil. You think, oh, first look at that, just a few little leaves and it's not looking great. That's going to be amazing. What happens with this as well? Let me see if we've got one. So an example of this, Alchemilla mollis, great plant to grow. Flowers rather insignificant, but look at the jewel, like how jewel-like the raindrops look on them. They're known as lady's mantle as well. Really nice, but raindrops or dewdrops look like jewels on them, and that is part of their fascination. Great traditional cottage garden plant as well. Geranium Brookside coming through. We've got Tiarella, Pink Skyrocket coming through. We've got lots of our Sedum Carl coming up. Everything's doing its job. Everything's doing what it should be doing this time of year. This one is Geum, Prinses Juliana. What I'm impressed at is that this has been flowering. We're in March. This has been flowering for ages already. Okay, we've had so many flowers on this. So many. I'm totally shocked by it. Absolutely, honestly, I've never seen that before. It really loves this spot. It's a perfect spot for it. It's settled, it's happy. And when you've got these beautiful orange flowers at this time of year, especially these, they're just coming out, so you can see more the true colour. They're really nice variety. Princess Juliana, and it's looking good. This one is a real beauty. This one is called Lysimachia, and it's a variety called Firecracker, and true to form, it spreads via its roots. It started off a clump. It was now going all the way under the grasses. It was going through these grasses here. If we're not careful, it will come up through and under the decking, so we need to be really careful. It's one of those that you need to either keep plastic around it under the ground, so you could have a little plastic rim if you wanted to, maybe like that, and try and contain the roots. But to be honest with you, if it's going to get under, it's going to get under. Do you know what I mean? You'd have to have a really big bit of plastic, and it's not practical, that. So I just think it's one that you need to keep spading. You have to keep throughout the year, really. Keep it in check, especially at the end of the year as well, because if you leave the garden till spring and then you come out, you're going to be disappointed because you're going to see it's just spread everywhere. It's a thug, in other words. I like thugs, but that's just bad. That's just but a very beautiful plant, well worth having, but again, one that you need to keep in check. A lot of plants are like that. You need to keep them in check, otherwise they just spread and take over. So Miscanthus doing great at the back there. Lovely tall grass, really graceful, very beautiful. And this one is Ferner Osten, so Miscanthus, and it's variety called Ferner Osten. Really nice variety, quite tall as well, obviously, as you can see. Look how it is already, it's looking good. Sedums are coming up. This is Sedum matrona. Now I'm hoping that our Phlomis Russiolana will be flowering this year, because it was new to the garden last year. If you remember, if you've not seen the makeover, look at the makeover video. Absolutely fantastic. This was not looking like this a few years ago, okay? This has all been done last year, all this work. I was ill during the early part of the summer, so basically Paul did the whole makeover, literally. I started the path, if I remember correctly, but that's about it. That's about all I did. Too poorly to be doing it. So, what happened was, amazing result from grass. This was all lawn here now. We had a long border there, border at the back, and it was just literally all grass. Everything that you see now is grass, even where the decking is was grass. So, and we had a rockery, now where my cameraman stood, and that is now gone. So yeah. Another Persicaria here. This is Persicaria amplexicaulis alba, so white variety. I think it looks really, really great here. I'm not sure whether there are some changes in order here or whether it's going to stay the same. If I remember correctly, I know that Paul was saying there was something about two colours that were not going well together. I think it was the white and of the Persicaria and something else as well. So I don't know, but I do know that there's some changes might need to be made, but we'll see what happens. At the back there we have our monk's hood. And looking great. To be honest with you, that was one of the first plants to come up this year. Monk's hood, and it is a beautiful variety. Really like it. If you've not grown monk's hood before, it is rather poisonous. It's known as aconitum. Okay, so aconitum, but highly toxic, the roots. And to be honest with you, after handling roots or handling the plants at all, I would wear gloves, and I would wear, I'm just overcautious, I'd wear specific gloves for that task as well. And I wouldn't be messing around and certainly eating and drinking and everything else, because that's not good. You don't want to get poisoned. But it's a really great plant. That's a plant that you grow instead of delphiniums. So if you're struggling with delphiniums and they're being obliterated by slugs, a great alternative and a fantastic plant as well. That is about it for my tour of our garden. I really appreciate you joining me on this. You know, I love my garden tours, and I just absolutely love showing you around and letting you see what we've been up to and seeing how things are going in the garden. Had a really tough week at work, very tiring. So it's good to get out into the garden and just spend some time out here with you all. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video today. Please drop any comments in the comments box below. Also, please subscribe. It's totally free to do so. You don't have to pay anything, just subscribe, and that way you get to see our videos as they pop up on your account. Also, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, okay? Because we really would appreciate that. And I think also, if you have social media accounts, please share our videos on social media, because it helps get our message across to other people and let other people get to see our work that perhaps don't know of us. Okay, been doing this for quite a while now. Obviously we've done lots of things in life, including garden design before, planting design and things like that. Okay, but we'd like you to follow our journey in this house, in this garden now. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we will definitely see you on the next one.